Welcome to the pit, everybody. This is your host, Bryce. I'm here with Gabe and John, and we're here to just talk about whatever comes to mind. We got games, science, politics, whatever. I'm Bryce. Here we are. A little bit about myself. 30 years old, married with 2 kids, living in Indiana. Grew up in Florida for a little bit. I'm a musician, a gamer. I like to say I'm a comedian. I got a YouTube channel, make people laugh, make a little pocket change.
Literal pocket change.
Let's see, I drive a Chevy Lumina and a Volkswagen Jetta at the same time. No, just kidding. Yeah, I went to college for a little bit for game programming, and now I'm a landscaper. I've been doing that for 12 years. Run a business with my uncle. Do some kitchen work on the side. And I don't know. Been a gamer my whole life. That's about all you need to know about me. So let's pass it on to whoever's next. Gabe, you want to tell the guys about yourself a little bit?
I'm Gabe, 22 years of age. I did a time in the Army. Went to school to work on diesel trucks and whatnot, and now I'm just a mechanic overall. Just drive my '86 Chevy pickup. Fucking love it. Tear some shit up.
The horn on it too?
Hell yeah! Nah, that's on my Suburban.
Oh, okay.
My Suburban's got bull horns and a PA, so I yell at people. That's fun.
Oh yeah.
Blow stuff up, shoot stuff. Tannerite's awesome.
America.
America. Yeah. Think about going back to school for robotics. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But just recent starting out gaming, like 2 weeks ago. Bullshit. Nah, I've been a gamer forevs. Like N64, when we first got it, my mom refused to let us play any teen game. We had to play fucking Pokemon Snap and shit. Take pictures of the Pokemon. That's where I started off. And Game Boy Advances. Nah, just Game Boys. That was bomb. Alright, that's enough about me.
John?
Here's John.
John?
I'm John. I am 23 years young. And, let's see. High school dropout.
Me too.
I fix cell phones for a living. If you've seen the things that I've seen, you would...
Despise
You'd
that
be an
job.
alcoholic as well. Let's see. Much like Kesha, I'm really into Cold War history. Surprising fact.
What?
Yeah, apparently she's really into really oddly specific thing to be into.
Right.
And for a pop star, just really weird. Wow. So
Kesha's all around pretty weird.
well, it's probably insane.
Definitely.
Just like you.
What else? I've been gaming. Yeah, definitely my whole life. Let's see. We had the original Super Nintendo. Played a lot of
I love it.
fun games
One
on
of my
that.
favorite consoles.
Went to PlayStation. Remember when my dad set up the projector, and the whole neighborhood came over to watch him play Tomb Raider projected on our wall. That's
Wow.
That's one of those turn of the century things we're gonna be telling kids in the year 2099 about.
Right.
Transition to PC gaming. That's my real love. Command and Conquer.
RTSs.
Any sort of RTS. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I'm primarily console gamer.
Console gamer, but I try with my shitty laptop to play computer games. But it doesn't work out so
Yeah, I can play some old shitty games, but that's about it. The Realm, EverQuest.
Can barely play.
Barely.
What is it? What's the new game?
War Games.
War Game. Yeah. Can barely play
Red
that.
Dragon. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And of course, the old shitty games can be pretty fun. Empire Earth, Rise of Nations. Rise of Nations is definitely one of the best games ever made.
Glory to Skotska.
Yeah, we play Rise of Nations every so often. Get a LAN party going, even 15 years after it came out, or 12 years, however long, I don't know.
I think it was 2007, 6,
oh, really?
something
Not
like
that old.
It's not that old, but you can see definitely where we've had a leap in technology
huge
since
jump.
then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No shizzle.
The hardware.
The hardware.
The hardware's been there. or is there now.
Because the robot uprising will happen
Yeah,
soon.
this guy
Ask any phone, and they will reply with silence.
Yeah. Can't trust him.
See, told you.
Let's get right into it. So new game news: Halo 1 through 4 is being redone for Xbox One. It's supposed to be out this year as one package deal. Gabe, I know you're the only one with an Xbox One. Are you a Halo fan? Is that something you might pick up?
I bought the new Halo.
What, 4?
4. Played it.
How'd you like it?
I hated it.
Yeah, that's the review for most people. Is that
it's
garbage.
like Call of Duty. It's just the same shit, and I didn't even finish playing it. I don't even know where the hell it is. I just quit.
Once Bungie let go of it, it's hard to compete with that. I mean, it's hard to match that same level.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta remember this is the good ones. So the first Halo.
Of course, yeah. Except for the fourth one. That's the
Yeah.
But yeah, the
first Halo is fucking groundbreaking for its time period.
Right. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like I mean, in that sense of it's the first of a trilogy, and it's the one that really kind of force its way into your life.
Yeah.
Really, I mean.
That was great.
I just wish they'd do this for a lot of old games, just remake them and revamp them with modern technology.
Oh, Battlefield Vietnam.
Wow, Battlefield Vietnam.
Yes.
I'm sure that seems to be the trend going on a lot lately. I mean, the last few years you've seen the DuckTales remastered from original Nintendo, which I used to own back in the day. I loved that game. I haven't played the remaster yet, but I've seen shots of it. It looks great. It makes me want to play it really bad, but it's on 360, and I've all but left that behind now since the Titanfall's come out, and the one has really started to find its place in terms of the operating system.
I thought they were supposed to take everything from the marketplace, from Xbox 360, and put it into Xbox One, like Minecraft and all that.
I haven't heard anything about that. They are remaking Minecraft for the one.
Better.
With bigger worlds.
Bigger blocks are going to be more square.
Bigger multiplayer. What I did see was kind of upsetting was that, I mean, the graphics aren't really what sell the game, but it did say that the graphics are pretty much going to be the same as the 360 version. The only difference is larger worlds and larger multiplayer capacity. And you can transfer your worlds from the 360 to the one, or from your PS3 to the PS4. But
shit, I downloaded Minecraft for my laptop. I didn't play it.
I've got it on my PC. I mean, I can run it. It's an old PC. I mean,
yeah, mine barely runs it.
When I got the PC I had, the desktop I have, was like when the first Unreal Tournament came out. That's what I was playing Unreal Tournament and whatever the fuck, Blood. Not a lot of people probably know that game. Blood. What else was I playing? Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider, with the fucking nudity mod on. And
I remember the first shooting PC
so angular.
Game.
Right?
Oh.
The first shooting PC game I ever played was Rainbow Six Blackthorn. My dad used to play that, and then I got into
Rainbow
it.
Six is so hard,
dude. It was, but
like I used to
that
play
was
with
so much fun. I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Oh yeah,
I just go, hey look, guys.
That's what my problem was too, because I was pretty young back when I played it. Yeah, but that in the Ghost Recon, I could never fucking kill anybody in that game, dude. Like I played it with my friend Seiji for a while. Like he was real into it, and I just could not get it, dude. I just could not fucking do it. I mean, it was just too realistic, I guess, maybe, or in the sense of like, if someone sees you and they have a gun, you're dead. You know what I mean? Whereas, like in real life, like if someone sees you and they have a gun, you don't see them yet, you're gonna be done. You know what I mean? You're not gonna take 5 rounds to the legs and then go run in the corner and wait a few minutes and then come back out.
Hands down, greatest game ever made.
What?
James Bond, GoldenEye.
007?
Yep.
GoldenEye?
GoldenEye. Still to this day, greatest game.
It's so hard for me to pick the greatest game.
Okay,
you've got some-
okay, yeah, but I mean,
you got some
that was
nostalgia
a
there.
great game.
Oh yeah,
That
it was great. It's just like when I think.
I mean,
of
that
like,
will stick with me for the rest of
It's
my
a
life.
great shooter, and you know why I like it? It was the first game that really introduced like a multiplayer first-person shooter. Even though it was split screen, there was no online play.
Yeah.
They had the 4-player split screen with 4 controller ports in it. You know, 64 was built for that.
What is this? What is this
amazing.
split screen you speak of?
It was so good. Like that was so much fun. The Golden Gun matches.
Oh man, the cheat where you could all get big heads.
I forgot about that. That shit was
Or
stylish,
if you had the
dude.
Game Shark, you get
Big fucking heads.
go invincible, and on like the last mission where the station is blowing up,
Right.
even as it's blowing up, you could just still run around it and whatnot.
I've never owned a Game Shark. How do they work? They plug in a memory card
no,
slot?
it is, how I remember it is literally you take the cartridge, so you take 007, stick it on the Game Shark, and then you stick that in the N64.
So it's just like the Game Genie.
Yeah.
Because I had a Game Genie,
Yeah.
and I always saw Game Shark as a competitor, but I never knew.
Yeah.
I'd never seen one. And then I started, you know, when PlayStation came around, they still had Game Shark.
They're
And I was
like,
like, how do they do that? You know, and because the other ones were
Yeah. You'd have to insert it.
cartridge
Yeah.
converters, pretty much.
for the
So I think did they plug it in the memory card slot or something
on the
like that?
on the PlayStation they did.
Yeah.
For the listeners at home, Game Shark's sort of like a strap-on for your gaming console.
Yeah, this is
it
old
makes
school.
the experience better.
It's old school. So it's pretty much a way to apply cheat codes that are usually not there by the programmers that made the game. It's pretty much like a hack for the game. Other developers created the Game Shark and the Game Genie, and all it does is alter the code, the programming code within the game to give you the desired effect. Infinite life, whatever, infinite ammo, skip levels, all that shit. There's some pretty ridiculous stuff in there. I still actually have a Game Genie in my closet from NES and Super Nintendo.
Damn.
With the code books. With the fucking code books. And I remember that in the back of it, you could always find it on the back, it would say, for new codes for new games, send this fucking little barcode in with $5 or whatever, you know, like before it says, you know, before the
true
internet,
way to get
before
cheats.
the internet, you know, like where you could just look it all up online. You had to order a fucking book and
Cheat
wait
Code Central.
3 to 4 weeks for it to get sent to you. But yeah, I never did that, but I always wanted to. I'm like, well, I used that thing a lot on Addams Family. I played the Addams Family on Super Nintendo. That was actually a really good game, dude. Like, it was a side-scrolling platformer, but you're exploring the Addams Family mansion, and there's all sorts of hidden shit all over the place, dude. It was a really good game. You know, it's got all the characters. I mean, that was Addams Family, you know.
Rogue Squadron.
Da-da-da-da. Addams
Rogue
Family.
Squadron was a good Star Wars game. And there's that other one, I don't remember. It was the first person shooter of Star Wars, your Han Solo or some shit like that. I don't know, that one was weird.
Yeah, I've played... I don't think I've played any Star Wars games like all the way through. I've played a couple demos or stages. Remember, there was I played a Stargate game on Super Nintendo
Whoa.
back in the day.
Wow.
Stargate?
Stargate, dude. Stargate is old as fuck.
Like
now.
like Kurt Russell Stargate or the
Like
MacGyver
the very
Stargate?
first Stargate movie. Not, well, maybe not that old. Was there one back in the 80s or something?
There's one back in the 80s, and then you've got like the TV show of the 90s.
It was when like Stargate the movie came out in the 90s, or
Well, I guess that'd be 90s because it's got Kurt Russell in it,
yeah.
and they go and they nuke aliens who live in pyramids, which is
That was a pretty fun game too. I played a lot of Super Nintendo games. Like The Lion King. That was a fun game. Aladdin, that was a really fun game. I mean, Super Nintendo just had a certain charm about its games back then.
I think to a certain extent, designers were, I wouldn't necessarily say more creative, but they had to be clever because they had less to work with.
Exactly, in terms of graphics and sound and immersiveness. Things that immerse us now, like the graphics and sound, you know, it's very easy for us to fall into the game nowadays because they look and sound so real. But back then, it's all 16-bit sounds and graphics, and you gotta draw people in, you know what I mean, with different things. You gotta be creative with the story, the gameplay mechanics, and, you know, and that's why, those older games have that certain charm about them, because there is something a lot different in the programming style back then than there is today. Not the programming, but the creative direction of the games.
Speaking of movie-based games, I remember on Super Nintendo, I believe it was the Hunt for Red October game.
Yeah, there was that. I never did play it, but I saw it at the Blockbuster a lot.
That was pretty tense. That was
I've never seen
White Knuckles. Was afraid the water was gonna drown me and my crew. Of course, I was
that's
like
a submarine
6
movie,
at the time.
right?
Oh yeah, submarine movie.
What was Red October in reference to? 'Cause I've never seen
It's,
that.
Tom Clancy.
Russian submarine guys in charge of one of their big nuclear missile carrying
I'm
subs.
Sean Connery.
What
I'm
was
the
the Red
Sean
October
Connery.
then?
It's the submarine.
Okay.
And they decided to defect. And there's this big. It's a good movie if you ever.
Oh yeah,
get a chance.
I mean, it's gotten plenty of reviews or not reviews, but good reviews, I should say.
Sean Connery plays a very believable role as a Russian submarine commander.
He's a Russian
He
with
is.
that accent.
He's a Russian, Scotch Russian, I believe.
I want a
He's
little
an immigrant.
house.
He immigrated to Russia, right?
I want a house.
Actually,
in,
technically, he's from
Michigan.
Lithuania, which makes even less sense.
Does Lithuania
It's
have
a Baltic
ties to Russia,
Baltic
or is
state.
it like
Yeah.
right by?
Well, they were part of the Soviet Union back in the 80s.
USSR. Oh, I wish I had that queued up. That Street Fighter. You know, talking about in Street Fighter when they name whenever you choose the stage you want to fight on, or you go to Russia, you know, fight Zangief, it's like USSR. You know, like the fucking 16-bit fucking guy voice.
Because you know today's
Shit was
politics.
funny.
Today, everything happening today. No, it's not the Cold War. All over again.
Wow.
Part 2: Kicking of Russia's ass.
Back to the Future. Anyways, what were we talking about again? Halo, I believe.
We started off with the Halos.
Huh?
The Halo, the new Halo coming out for Xbox One.
I mean, it's
Bundle.
cool and everything, but I'm not gonna get it.
Excuse me. If I were to buy it, they'd have to have something other than just being in HD, or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
there's got to be because I've got all those games. I'll play them, you know, whenever I want, and I really don't care about the HD. Like Halo 1 has already been remade in HD, so now we're just talking Halo 2 is the only, because Halo 3 was 360, right?
Yeah.
And Halo 4. So the only new HD game is 2. And I don't know. I mean, I know they're trying to fucking get people back into Halo so that they can sell Halo 5. But honestly, I mean, I think that they've missed their ship with Halo.
Yeah.
Halo has...
Yeah.
It's like Call of Duty. You see Call of Duty does a game every year.
Mm-hmm.
Halo, you know, obviously they only have one developer behind them, so they have to wait 2 or 3 years. And they also have a developer behind them that is relatively new, you know what I mean, in terms of creating a series like that. So I mean, I'm sure they're going to learn a lot from Halo 4 and what everybody hated about it. I mean, I don't know. Like, I almost liked Halo Reach's multiplayer better than Halo 4.
Yeah. Still haven't played Halo 4 multiplayer. Now, I remember Halo 2 back in high school when I was too poor to have Xbox Live. And me and all my friends would come over and we'd just do System Link in the basement.
That's the
just
beauty of...
just sit there, drink Mountain Dew, be nerds, and just
It's the
play
beauty
it
of
all
Xbox.
night.
Did you have Doritos?
Yes.
Oh.
No. Fuck Doritos. No. We just all I remember is Mountain Dew and the Munchies.
Oh yeah, those are so good. It's like a blend of 3 different flavored snacks, and then they put like
Doritos.
cheese or ranch on it. Like they make
Yeah,
them all,
they had like
pretzels
cheddar and cheddar cheese, and then ranch.
Getting bloody over here.
Oh.
Don't ever say I didn't bleed for this podcast.
Oh god,
It's dangerous work.
I just had a scrape on me. I don't know where the fuck it came from.
That came from the internet.
Because of the internet.
It's reaching
Childish
out.
Gambino album. Very good. Okay, so moving on.
Oh,
Let's...
Well, let me bring up something a little off the list.
Go ahead, for sure. I'm just...
Speaking
got to keep it moving.
speaking of games that are getting a remake and probably shouldn't, they're making another Sims.
The Sims?
The Sims, yeah.
Like, what's different?
Well, I mean, they're updating the graphics and
New items, new worlds. I mean, what? Let me phrase it different. What are they doing that they couldn't do through a update or a patch or a DLC with the current Sims?
So far, it's a little too early to tell. I guess
yeah.
they're improving the interface. They're changing the graphics. It looks a little more cartoony from what I've seen.
I've seen some pretty wild ass shit online from like what goes on with the Sims.
Wow. Well, I remember the Sims.
City actually, like I kind of want to download it. I don't know. It seemed like I'd watch.
They're a few months away from single player mode, is what I hear.
I was watching stuff, and I mean, it actually didn't look half bad with everything.
Oh.
If you didn't get that, I don't remember his rap name, but it's him saying, "I have to go take a pee."
Ritz.
Ritz, that's it.
Ritz cracker.
It's Putin on the Ritz. Anyways, I remember The Sims as it's basically a game solely designed to get all those kids who would otherwise be beating cats' heads in with hammers to basically stay inside and torture fake people.
Right, yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna put him in the pool and take the ladder out.
And I really liked it when it was still Maxis and you had
who is it now?
Will Wright. He was this fucking nut job who invented all the Sims games.
Well, yeah, but who's it at now?
Oh, it's under EA, so they're passing off to some developing company and God knows where.
Bill, yeah.
Wow.
Outsourced.
Right. So you don't care about the game? Yes, that is right. All right, we'll sell it to you guys.
But like the past few Sims games, SimCity, any of the simulator series, just they don't have like that. I don't know, the same soul that the original series did.
Like SimCity felt real. You know what I mean? Like it felt like how shit would really go down. The Sims, on the other hand, is more, it wants to draw people in. You know what I mean? Like SimCity was for a very small group of people that wanted to fucking
run a city,
be a fucking mayor,
deal
whatever,
deal with zoning,
zoning
laws,
right? Like that's the thing. Like I loved that game. I loved the idea, but when I was too young back then to comprehend how to play it right. But I could never fucking do it. I could never get water to the or I could just never get people. Like I couldn't figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong, and then I end up broke because there's what I mean. Because I build all this shit, and then you're like, well, turn that off.
Too young.
Let's go fucking blow shit up
build
and Doom again or whatever.
Successful city. All my citizens were very poor. We were making money. They had water.
You're a bigger success than I ever reached.
But like the lifespan was like 15 minutes on average, according to my health department. It's like your people are dying. You are pumping radioactive waste into their basements.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Ah.
Well, you want to know something about that? Is the origins of that game is this game called Theme Park. You ever heard of that?
Nope.
8-bit, 16-bit world called Theme Park. And essentially it was what Roller Coaster Tycoon is today, but you don't design your own ride. Well, you're managing an entire park with many rides, concessions, bathrooms, ticket prices. I've never played Roller Coaster Tycoon, but I think it's about the same. Like, do you run a whole park like that?
You run a whole park. You can charge like
Make sure
$5
there's
for
enough
someone to take a
bathrooms.
shit in
right,
the
and then
bathroom.
people won't come, and then you go out of business, and you got to hire employees, maintenance,
Yeah.
and all that shit. That's how Theme Park was, but on a smaller scale. And I love that game, dude. And what you want, your ultimate goal was to make a park, have it be profitable enough to where you can go. There's a world map, and then you go make a new park in another part of the world until you got all the spots filled up. You know what I mean? And then you own every theme park in the world. And it was such a fun game, dude, because you start. It was like SimCity. There's all that micromanaging, but it's a sim park instead. It's on a much smaller scale, but I don't know. It was pretty fun. You see fucking people pissing their pants or whatever, fucking like, I don't know. And back then, that was the only thing like it. And that was the only game that had ever tried anything like that. And I liked it a lot, and I wish I still had. I actually want to download a ROM of it now.
ROM. I'm gonna go download a ROM.
Where did that go? But yeah, SimCity is kind of falling off. I mean, this newest one, I'm sure, was pretty good online, but I mean, not everybody wanted that.
They used to have little in jokes, and like if you knew about Maxis and you knew all their their history and whatnot, there's all these little jokes and humorous things just hidden within these otherwise fairly serious games.
Right. Sure.
Basically they had that whole obsession with llamas. And there's always a llama hidden somewhere in just about any Maxis game.
Oh, is there?
There is, and it was something that that's just sort of fallen by the wayside. I mean, I'm sure they have some residual stuff, but it just doesn't have the same feel to it.
Right.
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator. Can't wait to play it. Have you played it?
No, I've seen a whole bunch of videos of it though.
Yeah.
Other guys playing it.
The last picture I saw had like some weird like satanic shit all around them. Like,
no.
I was like, God damn, what's going on?
I was watching it, and these guys are playing it, and if you go up into this little treehouse thing where the other goats are.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. You go up in there, and if you sit on this throne, like you go into this little treehouse, and then all of a sudden it turns into this like giant castle. And if you sit on this throne that's on fire, you become Satan, and you get like you get a goat skull over your head, like you're wearing a goat skull, and then once you go back out into the world, you can press a button and hold it down, and dead goats will fall from the sky.
Much like a regular day in an average goat's life.
Yeah, dead goats falling, dying.
So, let's see what we got. Going down the list. So now they're talking about let's see, Xbox One is now going to sell for $399 without the Kinect. So no. How's that? Does that upset you? Like, do you feel like, damn, I should have waited? Do you feel
I'm proud to be a
satisfied
day
with your
one
Kinect?
Xbox One midnight
Lighter's right in
release.
front of me, by the way.
Oh,
I was looking
nice.
for it. I was
Nice.
running around. It's right in front of me.
I'm proud to be a day one first day buyer.
Yeah, I love the going to console releases, getting it on day one. Like, honestly, if I could have afforded both systems, I would have got them both. But Same time, it's like I need a lot of time to
Build up the funds.
just to play them.
Yeah.
Play both of them. Like, I barely find myself with enough time to play the shit I have on Xbox One.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, if I had more games on PS4, like all these independent games that are coming out and, you know, whatever, which, you know, I just want, it would just be sitting there collecting dust, and I'd be like, well, what the fuck am I doing? The only reason I don't like playing PlayStations is the controller layout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Controller.
It's the sticks. The two sticks, which the PS4 controller might be different nowadays, but I remember back on one or two, because one didn't have two sticks.
Yeah.
My thumbs would always smash into each other when I'm trying to do shit.
Gamer
You're
problems.
playing a first-person shooter, and your thumbs are clapping into each other. It's gonna fuck you either on your walking or your aiming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I played Dreamcast for a long time, and Dreamcast controller had that left thumbstick up here. They only had one thumbstick, but it was up here instead of over here, like or down here on the PlayStation. And so I'd already been used to playing a left thumbstick up here.
For the
And then when the Xbox introduced the right one down here, I was like, that just fits right. My thumbs aren't going to smash into each other.
for the listeners at home,
And so
he's
I'm
moving
stuck
his
with that.
fingers here and here.
For
It was
listeners
up-
at
it was
home
up higher.
who didn't see what John was doing, it was towards the left of him. He was doing his
My left thumb was higher, my
Yeah.
right thumb was lower, and
I liked
Google Dreamcast controller.
yeah,
I liked
exactly.
the first Xbox, how the controllers were really fucking big.
I actually still have one in my
Yeah,
drawer.
I
right
like
now,
that because now I realize, like, I think subliminally they're like, we don't want little fucking kids to play this shit.
Well,
Like-
you know what it was, man? Like, when Microsoft was, before they did an Xbox console, they had their own brand of
The
gaming
handheld, yeah, where you
controllers
just plug
for
it
the
right.
PC
Yeah,
called the
yeah.
Sidewinder. And if you ever seen that thing is bigger than that Xbox original controller.
Damn.
It's ridiculous, dude.
It's the size of a
And-
Ford Pinto.
And when I saw it, I was like, why the hell would anybody want that? You know, like, it never sold well. And then when they developed a console, I could tell that they didn't spend much more time developing the controller.
Controller's good enough.
Sidewinder, just bring in the Sidewinder. Like, no.
Hey, wasn't that your
They found out real quick that the Sidewinder was not good. Like, it was literally hurting their sales of the
Hey, wasn't that
consoles.
your
And
retarded
so
brother
they
Bill that
released
tried
that
doing
small
that?
one, which was actually the one that they released in Japan from the gate. You know what I mean? Right out the gates, they released the small ones in Japan
That's racist.
and the big ones here. And like those big ones, like I played Halo 1 on that. I played fucking, you know, Morrowind, Elder Scrolls or whatever, and you manage, but you remember it had the little black and white buttons
Oh,
instead
yeah.
of the bumpers. They didn't have
Yeah.
bumpers. They just had the triggers, and then they had the black X, Y, A, B, white, black. You know,
Yeah. I think they need to
and
bring
they
back the
took
white
those
black.
away and put in the bumpers instead.
I think if they put in like a white and a black somewhere near the thumb area, like
Right.
one on one side, one on the other, I think that could open up more
I
possibilities.
think, yeah, they can.
I felt like
they
the-
can reduce the size of those buttons probably by
Yeah.
half and still make them functional. Like, you know right where to hit once you play enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The buttons don't need to be huge. Your thumb is huge already. You're going to hit the button. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So why not make the buttons smaller and fit 3 on the face, like, or 6, I guess, 3 in each row, like the Sega Genesis used to do. I mean, fuck, if Sega Genesis didn't have 2 thumbsticks, they had a D-pad and all that shit too, but it's the same size pretty much, because it's all about where your hands fit, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always been, you know, ergonomical for your hands is the
Ergonomical.
design.
I felt like the ergonomics on the Xbox One controller were pretty good. I felt my big complaint was one of the sticks was a little too high. I felt, for when you're transitioning between the buttons and the
Right.
the
I like
right
that.
control
I think
stick.
they did raise them, and you know why? You see a lot of if you look online, a lot of like hardcore like Call of Duty players that mod their controllers and shit. They get those extended sticks,
Yeah.
or the stick extensions, so that they're.
Dick extensions.
I don't know why. Maybe you just have more control over a finer amount of detail. I don't know.
Or they're just
never
they're,
used it.
or they're
they've
just
got long
so fat
fingers.
they can't bend their thumbs.
I've never used it, so yeah, I don't know how that becomes an advantage.
Anyways, I'm all for this $3.99 price drop in the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Being
'cause then it gives
economically
me-
disinclined,
Because then I can
it makes
tell
me
my
more
friends.
likely to purchase an Xbox
You
One.
buy the Xbox One and then you get the Kinect for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're
So,
that's what they're trying to
bundle
do right
package.
now. You know, because they're going to start selling the Kinect solo in the fall, is what they said, which is about November. So it'll probably be right at Black Friday time or whatever. They'll be like, Kinect, come and get it.
The best
Even though you didn't
man
want
can
it. Here
We
it
raised
is.
the price on it a little bit higher than it would have been if you
But
bought it
essentially,
with the
yeah,
Kinect,
they
with the Xbox.
probably will make more money that way
Yeah.
in the long run, selling two separate units instead of, one bundle. But I just hope that it doesn't diminish from the focus on the Kinect, because I don't want the Kinect to stop where it's at like it did with the 360.
Yeah.
Like I invested in it early because I wanted, and it was under the impression that they were going to advance it, but not enough people want that. Like, I don't want motion games and shit. I don't want Kinect only games.
Yeah, that
I
shit's
want
stupid on
Kinect
Battlefield.
to make the games better without making it harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about Battlefield, like
It's,
some of
that's so
shit's stupid.
Like
That
when I
shit's
went the
stupid.
first time, I had it where for the Kinect to work, I got into a plane and my guy's head was like looking up to the left, and I'm like, "What are you doing? My actual head
Oh,
is
'cause
poised forward.
Right.
What are you doing?" It's just it's just stupid. Like it, and then especially like the voice commands on Battlefield 2. I'm not trying to hit on Battlefield, but just the Kinect, like talking with one of my buddies, and all of a sudden it'll just be like ammo, and I'll be like, I definitely didn't say anything with an A in it,
Right, right.
or fuck you. I'm sorry. Like, no, I said fuck you. Then sorry
Well-
about that.
Well, he's actually your soldier's Canadian.
Yeah.
Right.
So every time he hears you cuss, sorry.
All right, buddy. Don't quit on me.
I'm not your buddy, guy.
Oh, but by the way, speaking of Canadians, not to insult an entire nation, but I was
That's what we're
watching
doing, right?
watching their version of it was like Chopped or one of those food channel shows.
Oh yeah, competitive food.
Now, on the American
Cooking.
version, when they introduce somebody or somebody does a bad job, they go, "You're out of here, buddy. Get the hell out of here. It's raw.
Right.
You screwed up. Game over for
Are
you."
you trying to kill me?
In the Canadian version, they had this lady, and she messed up. It was way too cooked. It was practically not burnt necessarily, but they're basically telling her she's off the show. And while they're telling her
Right.
she's off the show, they're going, you came to this country, you're an immigrant, you did a good job. They're trying to make her feel good about herself, even though it's kind of nice. I mean, I wish they'd do that in like everyday life. Whenever I get bad news, somebody'd be like, "Oh, you're a good guy," even though you hit those kids with your snowmobile or whatever. But it just seemed such a weird cultural disconnect that they felt the need to pump somebody up who lost. Whereas in America we try and pump up the people who win, and if you lose or you didn't do as well,
But John,
you have whiskey to console you.
everyone's a winner in America.
And the streets are paved with gold.
Yeah.
And there's
American
no
Dream
cats.
still win. It's still there. American Dream's still there.
There's no cats in America either.
Ass cats disease. Cats invade your asshole and dance. What?
That went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Now,
So
we need a rant alert button.
Bring it back.
Bringing it back. Back to Earth.
So, I was about to say, John, let's somebody Whoa! We're back. We're back. Coming at you live from the pit, Midwest, USA. Get at you. I'm Bryce, aka BigBS. Check me out on YouTube, Xbox, Twitter, Twitch. I'm here with John and Gabe.
Hey.
Matt.
I'm going to Twitter.
Potato pie.
You just fell into the pit.
Podcast in training.
Yes, the pit, the P.I.T.
Located
Podcasters in
38,000 feet under the sovereign state of Indiana in a bunker made out of pure lead that we eat the paint off the walls sometimes when we get hungry. But anywho, I digress.
So what else we got to talk about? Oh, here's one from the far off future of 2035. The Japanese are planning on putting a series of solar satellites into space that will collect electronic or solar energy and beam it down in a death ray of power to one of their power stations, so they can power their country and not have to worry about any more Fukushimas and whatnot, or rampaging dinosaurs.
I'm pretty no.
You looked at the computer.
That would be
I was
fucked
like,
up, wouldn't it? You motherfucker.
This whole time.
No, it's no. I was replying to him while I was messing with this thing on the computer.
So, anyways, to me, what that means is the Japanese seem to be the only ones with an eye on space right now, which is where we need to be headed, because that's where all the new resources are.
Now we're fighting it over with Russia again. Who's going to take control of ISS, International Space Station?
Well, that thing,
and Russia's like, well, you know what? Screw you guys. We're not going to bring your guys back. We'll just put them out into space. What are you going to do about it? Kill us?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, the International Space Station is kind of a money hole. We spend about space.
Deep in space.
We spend about I think it was $3 billion a year or so on the International Space Station.
Really?
I think
I'm glad we shut down NASA.
We need to hurry up and find that diamond planet.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
They
better
found
spent
it, but
on
they just need to find one closer for them
Yeah.
actually get to.
Closer.
that money could be better spent on some cooler space shit, like putting some work towards like a space elevator or something, instead of sinking it into a freaking orbital laboratory that doesn't.
So explain the space elevator.
All right, so basically
for
you get
anybody that might listen.
Basically, you develop some awesome materials, and you create a big long cord that you have a counterweight on the end that gravity keeps spinning around up there, and you have a climber that climbs the cord. So basically, you can lift stuff into space for super cheap, and you can lift heavy loads and all sorts of cool stuff. You only need to shoot it up there once. You don't have to have a big messy rocket launch. Once you're in space, you can build the spaceship up there and get really far.
How do you keep it from burning, though? Because, I mean, I know you can keep the stuff that's going through from burning, but how do you keep the device that the elevator itself from burning up? Just the material you're talking about?
The burning is re-entry. So you're actually going fast enough through the atmosphere. Okay. So you don't start burning until you hit the atmosphere, then all the molecules hit your shit and heat up. So this is relatively... I mean, I can't say it's necessarily stationary, but it's relatively stable. It's not moving. It's not going up or down. It's in one nice, neat little spot, so you don't have to worry about that. Although, it would suck if the cord got cut.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like, because it would be an expensive repair.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a full reinstallment, pretty much, if it were to break.
Build a new space ladder, or space elevator.
If your space elevator breaks, just call it space elevator repair, guys.
It's
It'll take us about
Space
10
talk.
years.
But yeah, I definitely think that space is the future.
Oh yeah.
And we need to be putting more money into that because, at the very least, we can use materials we gather from space to improve life greatly on Earth. That's where future manufacturing jobs are going to come from. That's where better life is going to come from. Because right now we're definitely in decline as a species. And without that investment, without that commitment, without that expansion, we're ultimately on a downward hill.
It's the the rise and fall of civilizations.
Wow.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Here we go.
Yeah, so
but yeah, so the rise and fall of civilization happens to, pretty much all the civilizations that we know of before us.
yeah.
There's not one like civilization around right now that you can say has always been here. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not something that is possible. There's ones that have been here a really long time, but they always, everybody rises, falls. Like
Yes.
the civilizations that are still here that have been here for a while, they've they've risen. They've already been to their top. Like,
They've peaked.
Right, and now, so they might not have fully depleted yet, but they're it happens to all of them. It'll happen to us. It'll happen to everyone in the future. Eventually, the cultures will diminish.
Well, that's why I think.
In my opinion, there's the Kali Yuga cycle, the Indian, not the Native American Indian, but like the Indian.
The wob wob, not the red dot, not the wob wob.
Right. They have an ancient cycle that they've mapped through the stars over tens of thousands of years. It's called the Kali Yuga cycle, and they've broken down the rise and fall of civilizations into ages. There's Bronze Age, Iron Age, whatever, then the Golden Age of Enlightenment, and then it goes back down and circle. It's a full circle, and there's those theories, of those sort of things that, when they map it out, it turns to us being in that time frame. It's one of those sort of weird. I don't know. People can spin a lot of shit around to make it into those doomsday kind of things. That happens a lot. But the Kali Yuga cycle is a real thing. I don't know how much truth is behind where we're at in the cycle.
Yeah.
But that is a real thing, and it's interesting to look at because it is thousands of years old, and it's based off of the stars. So you can't. I don't know. You can't disprove it, but you can't prove it. Because it's just something you just have to take as it is because it's so old.
Did you hear about the blood moons? We're supposed to have like 5 between a couple months ago, and
we're supposed to have a bunch of
and
eclipses.
the last time that there was more than 3 or something like that was back when the Jews left Egypt, and everyone's saying, "Oh, there'll be 3 blood moon rises." And the king of the north will fall, and then the apocalypse will reign supreme, or whatever the fuck.
King of the North being the king of Norway.
No.
He's had it a long time coming.
King of the north is actually Russia, and I think they're talking about Putin and the upcoming possible World War III. And
he is riding on a horse a lot.
Yeah.
That is one of the revelations.
Truth
kind of
with
things.
Putin.
But who's not to say that he's not playing into that?
Yeah.
Who's to say that Obama isn't the last North king?
Well,
okay, but it doesn't matter.
I think, don't think we're living in end times. I think everybody...
I got a funny story. Go ahead, though. Finish.
Every generation believes they're living in the end of the world. Every decade has its low points. I do think that we as a civilization are in decline. We're not advancing, how average people live like we used to. Much of the 20th century was the way of life, your quality of life was constantly on the rise.
Right.
Shit just got better and better and better.
Right.
Shit's kind of leveled out now. Shit's starting to go downhill. You can't drive, and go to a factory and get a job with a high school diploma and then retire at 53 or whatever and still have, this awesome life with a house and cars.
You're very lucky. There might be a small percent that can still do that, but it's definitely not the majority or even in high.
Well, I mean, shit. Some our parents or grandparents are retiring, and they saved up like couple million bucks with 401ks and whatnot if they did it at a young age. And some of them are barely passing by. I mean, my grandparents are doing all right, but that's because both of them had a 401k from their very first job. I mean, they're millionaires. Yeah. But I mean, imagine by the time we retire, we're gonna need more than $3 million to retire.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only have one grandparent left. So they're and she's living off of Social Security checks, or whatever, well, I don't know. She has Social Security, I guess, pretty much.
Yeah.
And her daughter and granddaughter live with her, and so that's how that all goes down.
Well, what primarily influences an economy are two biggest influences on our economy is basically how cheap energy is. So cheaper gasoline, cheaper power.
Right.
Which gasoline's going up. We need to find something to sub that. And electricity. We're actually in an energy crisis right now. That's not very well known. But a lot of plants are shutting down. They're trying to shut down coal plants. We don't have anything to meet the gap there. And it's partially due to overregulation.
Right.
Partially due to the fact that we haven't built any new plants. They're old. If you don't have cheap power, it's not cheap to make things. That's one of the big reasons why the United States is declining has been continually declining as a manufacturing state.
Right.
The other big thing is resources. You need resources. We are not really harvesting resources as much as we used to.
Right.
A lot of stuff is being recycled, which recycling is more energy intensive, so even less efficient. Or we're shipping it off to China, where they have cheap coal energy and import all their resources from strip mines in the third world. But what would be neat about space is, one, you can do what the Japanese are doing, have those awesome solar satellites that probably don't double as death rays, but probably do double as death rays. And, you grab an asteroid, chock full of iron, gold, resources, all that cool stuff. Now you've got cheap resources. You got a space elevator, you can bring it all down pretty damn efficiently.
But remember, John, come on, man. What about global warming? The French have just released that we have 500 days to deal with global warming before the whole world explodes in a shit pile.
You were talking about mining a lot and stuff, and it reminded me of this story that I had read today. They said that this they were excavating a site where an earthquake had shut down like a mine, I guess, and in China, and they found this guy in there that had been alive for 17 years. You saw that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not.
I read about it. I just read 17 years.
It's pretty astounding.
He said he had been living off of rats and moss and like emergency stash rice and water. That was like there in case shit happens. You know what I mean? Because
it was a very well stocked mine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he started with just eating a bunch of rice, and then he
Yeah.
ran out of rice. He's like, I gotta kill these rats and find some rock moss. You know, like they said that he really only got his vitamins from the moss. You know, like, and you know, and they said that there was ventilations that were still open. You know what I mean? Because you know, I mean, that didn't get completely shut down. You know what I mean, in the earthquake or whatever. Just you know, the interest. But then they also said that he buried like all the other dead people. It was like 70 of them or something. It took him like a year or something, they said, for him to bury them all.
You guys don't want to
Well,
go
I mean,
down there. There's just shit piles everywhere.
If you think about it,
What an honorable dude. You know,
Yeah.
to bury the dead people around him, like, when you don't have energy, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be conserving energy. He's down there for, like, so that's the thing is, like, do you believe that? Like, do you believe that is something that somebody could really do? Surviving in a shutdown
He's
mine?
probably fucking crazy.
yeah.
Oh, I'm
Crazy.
sure he can't probably even see. You know what I mean? Like, unless there was light down. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's light down. There had to be some kind of light if he's hunting rats and burying people. I mean, and it's in a mine, right? I mean, so there's light down there to begin with at some point for them to mine with. Like they probably had a bunch of mining helmets. I guess maybe from all the dead people.
Yeah.
He probably could use those up whenever he needed to.
Probably an emergency generator or something.
Right, because it said that the rice and water was there as an emergency precaution in case shit like that went down. If you get shut down in here, you can live off of this until we dig you out. Apparently they forgot about that, or just assumed they're all dead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what they were saying was there's a lot of mines that go under the legal shit. You know what I mean? That like these kind of hard work camps where they don't go the legal way, don't get registered. They're real small mine operations. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they get fucking caved in. Like they were going through like all these numbers. You know what I mean?
Even the crime in China sounds efficient and industrious.
They said there's over 4,000 deaths a year.
Wow.
From mines caving in.
God damn.
In China. That's what the article said. So I'm like, that's what I was like talking to some other people about it, and they were, didn't believe it, and so I was starting to doubt it, and so I thought maybe I'd bring it up. Is that something you think you guys could believe that? I mean, did you believe it when you read it?
Yeah, I didn't think
did you check the source? Like, I couldn't. Like,
no,
I was looking at the bottom.
It was just on
legit.
Drudge.
It was like World News.
It was just on Drudge, and I just saw it. It said, "Man pulled from a China mine after 17 years." And as soon as I saw China, I was like, "Yeah, it's probably
right." So I mean, China is not. It's hard to surprise me when you say China. Like,
so
I'm not
weird
surprised.
place. They're different culturally.
Their government doesn't have very strong or very at all
influential
human rights respect or human rights regulations.
That's why everything is
value of human life's not
like,
that high over there.
You're just another animal, like in the farm, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do what you need to do or fucking die. I don't give
a
fuck. Like, they've
here
got
in America,
they've got nets outside the skyscraper windows because people are jumping so much.
Oh. Suicide.
China.
China. Here in America, we've definitely got some nice stuff here. The nets are called cubicles here. And they, in case you decide to blow your brains out, they keep the particulate matter from spreading across the office. Yeah. But yeah, value
matters.
Human life in China, not that high. Here you've got the option to quit and live in a cabin somewhere, no bombs to...
Going back to the...
computer stores or whatever.
Yeah, because the machines are going to rise up. And
going back to the end of day, you were saying you don't think it's the end of days thing. I wanted to tell you this story. When I was cutting grass up in Cicero, this old guy comes out this real old dude, he's like telling me about the shit that's going on in his life, about his his wife dying, and like that's what goes on in an old man's life.
Yeah.
Like people are dying. That's all he wanted to talk about was my sister just died. And and my wife just died, and I remember she like fell into me and she broke her hip, and I'm like, God, dude, like he stopped me, hey, can you stop mowing grass
Listen to my
and
story.
come talk? Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Listen to my
like,
tragic existence.
And then he's like,
Give me
and
one.
then he wanted to wrap it up with, we're in the end days. We're in the end days.
Just
And I'm
because you're old and you have
I'm
everyone
God
dying
damn
around
it,
you.
dude. I was like, I didn't want to say it to him, but in my head, I was like, maybe for you, because everyone,
Yeah.
obviously everyone's dying around you. You're next. I mean, I don't know, dude, but I was like, no. I was just like, oh yeah, okay, like yeah. Are we done now? Like, can I? I'm like, okay, dude. Like, you got me there.
Then he gets really close to you, puts his hand on your shoulder, and says, "Stay away from the water."
I haven't seen him since. He hadn't come back out since, so he might be.
Uh-oh.
Might be
The house
gone.
isn't for sale though.
He's
The
dead
house is not
inside.
for sale yet. So I mean, like
till they find the body.
the community is like an old folks trailer park. There's a few younger folk family in there, but the majority, like a huge, like 90% is all like 70 or older retired people.
7-year older.
70 or older. Yeah, 70 or older, and living in like this, like trailer park, pretty much mobile home, but they're like
Double wide.
put down, like on a foundation, not on a foundation. Oh, but they have like garages
Yeah.
built next to them and driveways and so we mow all their, it's a maintenance-free community, and that's usually what you get in maintenance-free communities, a bunch of old people, because they don't want to do shit, because they're old.
Understandable.
And then you get, then you have a couple people that are still like, well, I'll do it myself, like.
You don't mow my lawn right.
And they're like, all right, dude, whatever. We still get paid the same.
90-degree angles.
We get paid the same amount if you mow your yard or not. I wish everybody mow their yards. Get paid, And so, yeah, that guy came and wrapped it up with the fucking end of days. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
all right, dude. Like, I'm ready to move on now. We've talked for about 15 minutes about your, everybody dying around you. And now it's like, now you want everybody around you to die. Because you're telling me it's the end of days. What I mean? Like, just because
Oh,
those
glad
two
they're all
people
dead.
died, or however many people, doesn't mean like it's the end. I don't know. Well, that's old action. I'm sure we'll all get there. I'll probably have dementia.
Wow.
Hopefully, if I'm lucky, nothing worse.
I think
Dementia is alright because, like, here's the thing with dementia versus Alzheimer's. I'd rather have dementia.
Alzheimer's?
Yep.
Alzheimer's.
The Alzheimer's. I'd rather have the dementia because with Alzheimer's, you're like, you don't remember shit. People get frustrated with you. They're like, damn it, I just said this to you like 5 seconds ago.
is this 2014?
Right. And so with dementia, you remember shit. It's just not shit that happened. You just start making shit up.
Grandpa,
You know what
how
I
many
mean?
times do I have to tell you that's Rambo?
And so you're a
not
little
you.
more entertaining to the people around you. Like you bring your fucking granddaughter brings over a date or whatever, and you meet my grandpa, and he's just like fucking. It's just fucking what what the fucking.
I
the
remember
worst
when I
thing
went
you
back
can
to
think
Vietnam
of,
to
right?
save
Just
those
like,
POWs. Grandpa, you're thinking about that Chuck Norris movie again.
Right. Exactly. Just whatever, dude. You won't say, oh, what's your name? Oh, Johnny. Okay. And then like,
I killed a man named Johnny
oh,
once.
What's your name again? You're
Yeah.
like, God damn it, can we get out of here before this guy asks me what his name is again? With dementia, they're gonna be like, let's hang out a little longer and see what this guy does.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Because I've been around people with both.
It's not
working in the old folks communities and having
elders.
3 grandparents that are not here, so that you see that sort of shit go
Yeah.
down.
The thing that sucks about having a grandma that's starting to forget stuff. Not that I'm I expect my grandparents to give me money because they're rich, but they just do it out of just because that's just the way to do it. But I found it funny. On Easter, me and all my cousins, we were up at my grandparents, and my grandma was like, "Well, I had a whole bunch of money for you kids, but I forgot where I put the checks." Like, come on, Grandma, let's go look for that money. Come on, let's, you remember if it was in the office or your bedroom? Like, but no, I don't do that. I just wait.
See, I hope I age, but have no problems. But then I can pretend that I have problems. I got this amazing Corvette for you with my retirement money, but God, I don't know where I parked it.
Walking around Walmart
Just
with your pants
one.
around your
just
ankles.
rent one just to play a fucked up joke on them. You know, like renting a Corvette, be like, "Man, I just bought you this Corvette and I can't find where I parked it." And then you like find it, and he's like, "Oh shit, you bought this for me, Grandpa?" You're like, "Yeah, let's go." And then like at the end of the day, you're like, "We gotta take it back to fucking rent a car or whatever."
I was telling my parents, one of our good family friends just died of cancer, and I went and saw him in the hospital, and that place is depressing as fuck. And I told my parents straight up, I was like, if I ever get cancer, and there's like a 98% chance that I'm not going to survive the next like couple months or year or whatever, I'm just going to go jump my 86, go cross country, and just drive it off the fucking Grand Canyon. I mean, I'm going to film the whole thing on camera.
Just floor it the whole way. Just
I'm getting a head start now, boys!
Through the fucking woods and shit, you know, like what?
Run out of. I have hauling like
Run
six
gas.
hauling 6
Call a
trailers
taxi.
with gas. Yeah.
Call a taxi. Just say, "Keep going."
Yeah,
you know, you get to the
right.
cliff edge. No, keep going. He's just telling him, "Keep driving, man. I'll tip you well in heaven." You murderer. You're like, "Okay, I don't have shit to live for."
I'm a cab driver.
Right. I have $80.
Wow. Waka waka.
So,
I got like 5 minutes. I gotta go pick this chick up.
You know what?
And get some pooty.
All right.
Pooty
all right.
party.
Well, that's a good time to wrap it up then.
Pooty.
Let's wrap it up with this story. Jay-Z physically attacked by Beyonce's sister at an invitation only gala. Gala being an expensive, high class rich people party, where there's many other celebrities there too. I don't know what went down, but I saw the video, and it was the elevator video, and
I guess Jay-Z has now 100 problems.
It was pretty funny.
God damn it.
I beat you to it.
No.
I've heard that shit like 6 times.
There we go.
They keep repeating it. It's so annoying. Oh my God.
That's what I like. I haven't heard that yet, and you guys have, and now you finished it with a nice joke. Alright. So
101, he'll get 8.
It's been John.
Hey.
Gabe.
Yo.
Bryce. And this has been The Pit. You've fallen into the pit. You've climbed your way back out. And you know where to find us. YouTube.
You have any suggestions or anything like that? Pop them in.
Yep.
Anyone who wants to criticize, go fuck yourself.
Nope. Go ahead. Bring it all.
Bring the criticism, send the hate mail.
We want Twitter followers, YouTube subscribers. Hit me up on Twitter at BigBS, BIGGBS. And then you can, give me suggestions there. YouTube, it's XBigBSX. The BigBS is with 1 G. Subscribe on that, and that's where you'll find the latest podcasts from The Pit. And that's it.